It began as nothing more than a quiet hum above the golden sands, the faint buzz of a drone slicing through the still Egyptian air. Below it stretched the timeless Giza Plateau, its ancient stones glimmering beneath a sun that had watched over them for millennia. To most, this place was a symbol of endurance, of human brilliance and mystery carved in limestone. But on that day, something unseen stirred beneath those sands, something that had waited far too long to be found. The drone's camera drifted over the Great Pyramid like a silent ghost, capturing the familiar geometry of a wonder older than recorded time. Yet just as it banked toward the horizon, its sensors caught something strange, a flicker beneath the dunes. The operator at first thought it was nothing but a mirage, a trick of heat and light. But as the image sharpened, that illusion dissolved into something far more haunting. There, hidden beneath layers of sand and stone, lay a perfect shape, not random, not natural. It was symmetrical, deliberate, alive with design. The team froze. Even through the screen, they could sense it, a presence. It was as though something ancient had just blinked awake after an eternity of sleep. Word spread faster than the desert wind. Within hours, the site was sealed. The Egyptian government descended on the plateau with quiet urgency, cloaking everything in secrecy. The skies above Giza went silent. No more drones, no more prying eyes. Guards appeared at every entrance, and researchers who had once roamed freely were now escorted out under armed watch. The message was clear. Whatever had been found was not meant for the world to see. But curiosity doesn't die that easily. Behind closed doors, whispers began to grow. Some said the footage revealed a vast underground complex, a city buried beneath the very heart of Egypt, a city untouched by time. Others claimed it was something even stranger, a structure older than the pyramids themselves, crafted with precision that no ancient tools could explain. The deeper the team looked, the less human it seemed, and yet the story almost never made it out. Servers went offline, data disappeared. The drone operator who first spotted the formation stopped answering messages. Some said he'd been silenced, others said he'd vanished into the desert. But the footage, a single frame of it, survived. A frozen image of a doorway half buried in sand, carved with symbols no one could read. That image set the world on fire. Historians called it a hoax. Scientists called it impossible. But those who saw the raw footage swore it was real. That something vast and deliberate slumbered beneath Giza, something our ancestors went to great lengths to hide. And the more the government tried to contain the story, the more it spread. Egypt had shut down, not because of an accident or unrest, but because something had been seen, something no one was ever supposed to find. And as night fell over the plateau, locals spoke of strange vibrations rippling through the ground. Some said they heard faint sounds like distant chanting. Others swore they saw lights flickering beneath the dunes, a glow that pulsed in rhythm, like the heartbeat of something ancient stirring awake. No one knew what it meant, but one thing was certain: the sands of Egypt were no longer silent. By morning, the world's attention had turned to Egypt. The streets around Giza were deserted, the air thick with dust and tension. The government insisted it was routine maintenance, a phrase that only fueled suspicion. Journalists were turned away, satellite coverage mysteriously disrupted. But you can't hide the desert. It remembers everything. A few days later, whispers began to leak through the cracks. A team of archaeologists working deep beneath the plateau had stumbled upon an opening, a narrow shaft carved perfectly into the rock, its walls smooth as glass. No tool marks, no signs of erosion, just a precision so immaculate that it seemed impossible. They followed it down for nearly 100 feet before reaching a vast chamber that none of them could explain. What they saw defied reason. The space was enormous, an underground hall stretching farther than their lights could reach. The walls shimmered faintly, as if made from a metal that absorbed and reflected light all at once. Pillars lined the hall, etched with symbols that danced when the light hit them. Not hieroglyphs, but something older, something alien in form. It was said that when the team shone their flashlights across the carvings, a low hum filled the air, vibrating through the stone and their bones alike. At the center of the chamber stood an enormous structure, part temple, part machine. No one could tell where architecture ended and technology began. It was as though the two were born together, forged by hands that understood both science and spirit in ways we no longer can. One of the archaeologists described it as a cathedral of silence, a place that felt aware of their presence. But before they could explore further, they were ordered to stop. Within hours, military personnel arrived, sealing the passage and escorting everyone out. The site was declared off-limits. Cameras, samples, even notebooks were confiscated. The official report said the chamber was geologically unstable, but those who had been inside knew the truth. They had seen something that could rewrite everything. One of the team members, a young researcher named Karim, broke silence weeks later. His message, posted briefly online before being taken down, described what he called the awakening. He claimed that when their instruments first entered the chamber, strange readings began to appear. Pulses of electromagnetic energy rising from deep beneath the ground, rhythmic, almost intentional. It felt alive, he wrote, as if the earth itself was breathing. And then there was the artifact. Hidden within the central structure was a sphere, metallic, flawless, suspended in the air without any visible support. It rotated slowly, emitting a faint glow, its surface shifting in color like liquid mercury. When the team approached, their equipment malfunctioned. Compasses spun wildly, and even their watches began to lose time. One researcher reached out to touch it, and before his hand could make contact, a flash of light knocked him backward. His body was unharmed, but he spoke of visions, of cities in the sky, of stars moving in patterns that no one could name. That was the moment, Karim said, when the order came to shut it all down. Within hours, access was terminated, all drone flights were banned, foreign researchers were recalled, and those who had seen the sphere were quietly transferred or dismissed. Some, he claimed, disappeared altogether. Still, fragments of their data survived. Scans of the structure revealed geometry too precise for coincidence, proportions echoing not just Egyptian design, but mathematical constants found in nature, in the orbit of planets, in the very code of life itself. Whoever built it, or whatever built it, understood the universe at a level we're only beginning to grasp. But the greatest mystery wasn't what was built, it was why it was buried. Some believe it was hidden deliberately, sealed away by those who feared its power. Others think it was lost to time, buried beneath floods or sandstorms that wiped away entire eras. But there are darker theories too. Karim hinted at something the team had found carved into the wall, a warning written in the unknown script. Only one word could be translated from the pattern, a word that has haunted every translation attempt since: return. As days passed, Egypt's silence grew heavier. Rumors spread of tunnels that extended beyond Giza, networks stretching for miles beneath the desert, connecting to unknown chambers still untouched. Satellite scans that once showed clear readings now came back distorted, as if the ground itself was shifting to conceal what lay below. And through it all, the same question echoed across the world. If something this extraordinary truly existed beneath Giza, what could be so terrifying that the world wasn't allowed to see it? Because maybe, just maybe, it wasn't a discovery at all. Maybe it was a reminder. For weeks, Voyager 1 sent nothing but silence, static whispers drifting through space like ghosts of lost radio waves. Engineers feared the worst, that the probe, after nearly half a century of defying every prediction, had finally fallen quiet forever. Then suddenly a faint trembling signal broke through the static. It wasn't words, it wasn't data, it was a pulse. A long, drawn-out hum that rose and fell like the slow breath of something colossal and alive. When scientists translated it into sound, they said it felt less like a recording and more like a heartbeat echoing from the void. The signal was soft but structured, oscillations of plasma waves, dense and rhythmic, unlike any Voyager had ever encountered. It wasn't noise. It was the sound of interstellar space itself. Voyager had crossed into a realm so empty that the very air it once swam through, the solar wind, had vanished, replaced by the plasma between stars. And yet that emptiness was singing. Every rise and fall in the frequency was like the universe whispering its existence back to the machine that had dared to leave home. Scientists analyzed the tones with trembling excitement. The waves revealed that the space beyond the heliopause wasn't as silent as they once believed. It was alive with faint energy, shifting currents, and drifting particles that hummed like the strings of an unseen cosmic instrument. Voyager 1 wasn't just detecting it was feeling it. The spacecraft, battered and ancient, had become an ear pressed against the skin of infinity, listening to the heartbeat of creation itself. For humanity, this moment was more than science. It was communion. Voyager had reached a place untouched by the sun's breath, where light took years to wander and gravity whispered softly. It had become the first human creation to sense the true quiet of the interstellar ocean. Its discovery reshaped our understanding of silence, not as absence, but as presence. The silence of space wasn't empty. It was filled with the low hum of eternity. And still, Voyager 1 moves. Every second it drifts farther from us, 1 second closer to forever. Its instruments are failing, one by one. The warmth that once powered it is fading. But even as its systems dim, it continues to whisper home, carrying traces of something humanity left behind. A golden record, spinning in endless night. On it are the sounds of laughter, the songs of birds, the crash of ocean waves, and the heartbeat of a mother holding her child, all etched into gold, traveling through the cosmos as proof that we were here. Someday Voyager's voice will stop, its power will fade, its systems will freeze, and its signal will dissolve into the static of space. But even then, it will not be gone. For somewhere, billions of miles away, in a place where the sun is just another star among millions, Voyager 1 will continue to drift through the dark, silent, steady, and eternal. It will carry our memory long after we are dust, long after our oceans have stilled and our cities have turned to sand. And maybe, just maybe, one distant civilization will one day find it. They will lift the golden record, feel the etchings with careful hands, and listen. They'll hear our songs, our greetings, our heartbeat, and in that moment, humanity will live again. Voyager's long journey will not have been in vain. It will have proven that even from a small world orbiting an ordinary star, life once looked up, reached out, and refused to stay silent. Voyager 1 is no longer a probe. It's a memory wrapped in metal, a dream drifting through eternity. It carries the story of who we were, where we came from, and how desperately we wanted to be remembered. Its lonely path through interstellar space reminds us of something profound, that every journey into the unknown begins not with certainty, but with hope. And as it sails deeper into the dark, beyond time, beyond touch, beyond the reach of our fading signals, it becomes what it was always meant to be, a whisper of humanity echoing forever into the vast, endless night.